We're going to have Dr. Sharma from his YouTube channel talk about the in-service stressor of a PTSD VA disability claim. He'll take that in the first half and the second half. I'm going to pull up the M21 TAC one and talk about what the VA says about in-service stressors and places of where they can actually come from within your records from the military.
Now, of course, to qualify for anything like this, you must have an in-service event that led to the PTSD. There are a lot of different possible examples for this in service, but it includes traumatic experiences where you might have felt fear for your own life, or you feared that you would be physically harmed. This could be while deployed, having mortar strikes in the area, receiving direct or indirect fire, being cornered and physically threatened or hazed by others, having a fear of hostile military or terrorist activity. So that includes having the threat of mortars, Scud missiles, IEDs, similar attacks. I remember while I was deployed, our pilots would get threatened by Iranian forces over the radio. They would basically threaten to shoot the bombers, fighters, or cargo aircraft down if they came too close to Iranian airspace, or what the Iranians thought was their airspace. There are a lot more examples, but those are just a few. It could also be witnessing traumatic events happening to other people. This includes seeing others receiving direct or indirect fire, others being physically assaulted, of course, someone dying or nearly dying in front of you, someone committing suicide or attempting suicide in front of you, having to handle human remains and body parts. There are a lot more examples, but those are some of the ones that I encounter. I wanted to mention something here. Looking at traumatic media repeatedly, if it's a part of your job, can also be a traumatic stressor. So for instance, if you were in intel and had to look at footage of attacks repeatedly, or videos of torture or executions, things of that nature. Another example is people who have to investigate aircraft crashes. They have to watch the footage of the crash or the cockpit voice recordings repeatedly, things of that nature. Now, some of these events that happened.
All right, we're going to stop that here, and I'm going to have the link to that video down below in the description. So go show Dr. Prashant Sharma some love. But what I did find very interesting, and I've never thought of for myself, I'm going to show you something here. That is a Marine Corps PSYOP patch. I was PSYOP my last 5 years in the Marine Corps. And in Syria, we looked at a lot, and I'll just be short here and brief, a lot of Islamic State propaganda. You can use your imagination on what that was. And that's something that I never even thought of before. But no one cares about that. Let's go ahead and go to M21 TAC 1. Here we go. Responsibility for stressor verification. Now, I'm going to make this quick. Okay, we're going to read this real quick. And then down below, you can see examples of sources for stressor verification. It's not an all-inclusive list, but it's most. And talks about buddy statements, and there's just so much on here, but we're only going to cover these two. When a veteran's claim service connection for PTSD associated with an in-service stressor undertake required development of the claim. So development means VA people got to do VA stuff, okay? Credible supporting evidence that the claimed in-service stressor actually occurred, medical evidence diagnosing the condition in accordance with 38 CFR 4.125, and, not an or, and a link established by medical evidence between current symptomology and the claimed in-service stressor. That's just a very, very smart way of what Dr. Sharma was about to explain from that psychiatrist perspective. Now let's go, since this video is specifically on stressors, where stressors can actually come from. There's a list. We'll get to that here in a second. Stressor verification information can often be found in the veteran's service records or other official documents. The list below, although not all-inclusive, there's more, provides examples of the types of official service records that may be useful in stressor verification. You have service personnel records and pay records, military occupation evidence, hazard pay records, service treatment records, military performance reports. So in the Marine Corps, that'd be FIT reps. In the Army, you have NCOERs, things of that nature. Verification that the veteran received combat, imminent, or danger hostile fire pay. All right. Unit or organization histories. That's a huge one. Daily staff journals, operational reports, lessons learned. After action reports, radio logs, deck logs, ship histories, muster rolls, command chronologies and war diaries, and monthly summary and morning reports. And there we go. That is your crash course on stressors. If we did a PTSD video, it would be like an hour long. I actually might do that, but it's going to be on the M21 TAC 1 that we're looking at right now. This is also going to be below in the pinned comment. And happy hunting.